things. One, elect a few more Democrats, because we now have understood the consequence of the right-wingers taking over the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, a day or two ago, opened the door and left the door open to horrendous partisan gerrymandering. In what kind of world should we allow the politicians to pick their voters instead of allowing the voters to pick their representatives? That was a horrendous mistake by the U.S. Supreme Court. We know women are still under the shadow of the threat of losing the right of choice. So we understand the danger of this. But we also have to take away from Mitch McConnell a weapon that's used by him to chain us to the last century. Look, we're not going to be able to pass a climate change bill if he still has the filibuster. He's vowed repeatedly to never challenge the fossil fuel industry. He wants us to always be under the thumb of the CEOs of the fossil fuel industry to keep us addicted to oil and gas and coal. So I have been the first candidate to say we need to take away that filibuster for him. We can't give a weapon that's not in the Constitution, not enshrined in American history, which would allow him to prevent progress in the United States. You need to understand how undemocratic the filibuster is. Here's how it works. If one senator wants to build a clean energy job in the solar industry, the person who doesn't want to create that job gets 1.5 votes. So the senator who wants to build a clean future gets 1 vote. The senator who wants us to keep chasing the jobs of the past gets 1.5 votes to block any bipartisan legislation that can emerge. That has to change. And I'm a little disappointed with the other senators, Biden and a whole bunch of rest of them, who are wedded to the past and wedded to the senatorial baronial privilege. Look, I'm disappointed in the vice president to think he's going to sit down and have tea with Mitch McConnell and develop a clean fuel standard that's going to break the addiction and control of the fossil fuel industry. He could drink tea for 10,000 years, and Mitch McConnell's never going to have courage to stand up to the fossil fuel industry. And frankly, I think the vice president's a little bit delusional about this. I think he's delusional when he says that the NRA is not the enemy. The NRA is the enemy that is preventing common sense gun legislation in the United States. I've got the NRA on the run. I know they're the NRA. And we need a president who will recognize them as the enemy and will act accordingly. So that's the kind of leadership I think we need in the White House.
Do you worry about if the filibuster is gone?